Hey, Sean here from SpeedCubeReview.com. Let's take a look at the Yuxin mirror blocks. Now, this doesn't have the stickers, so I guess you can just call it a bump cube, but mirror block is what most people know this as, so I'm going to call it that. I want to thank LightTake.com for sending me this. I'll have a link in the description to their store where you can pick up this cube as well as many other ones. Now, they have a black and white version that have stickers, but there's also a blue and pink version that do not. When I got this cube, it was really tight out of the box, so I had to loosen it. Some of this was easy, some of it not so much. Some of the screws were so stripped, that one's not too bad, but some of them were so bad that I could not loosen the cube. So there was still one screw that I could not loosen all the way. After I loosened it, it performed just as well as my Shengshou one, where it corner cut pretty well in one direction, but not the other. So if I grab my Shengshou one, you can see the same sort of thing. It corner cuts well in one direction, but kind of locks up in the other. Well, one thing I noticed is that these started to look really similar. They felt very similar as well. When I was taking off the center caps, most of them have that very boxy look to them. And so does the Shengshou. But when I got to the very top one, the Shengshou has this very different design where you have these little 4 stubs that go in the piece. On the Yuxin, it is actually the same exact thing. So now I started wondering, what else is similar about these cubes? The Shengshou, I took these 2 pieces out, and they are almost the exact same thing, even down to those little holes they have right there. Now, all cubes on the market are basically copies of the other, and Shengshou didn't invent the mirror blocks, so they copied that. But usually when cubes are copied, they're altered a little bit to be improved, and I think most people in the cubing community kind of turn a blind eye to that sort of thing. This is pretty much an exact copy, to the point where I'm curious to if they actually have the exact same mold, and if they're just sharing molds and they're the same big company. That's a lot of speculation, so I don't know exactly that, but it's the exact same thing. And the fact that it's the exact same thing, and sometimes at a higher price, is ridiculous. So the reason I'm so upset about this is because we've seen some new interesting designs from Yuxin. Yes, again, they are kind of copies of other things. At least their 3x3 and 4x4 seemed very different and kind of changed the way a lot of people look at cubes. The fact they made this and decided instead of coming up with something new but just copy the exact same thing is a bit frustrating. So thank you, LightTake, for sending me this. The only redeeming factor of the Yuxin mirror blocks is this fancy schmancy cube holder. This is one of the only reviews that I've really been angry about. Usually I try to find redeeming factors in any cube, but get a Shengshou instead. Leave your thoughts and questions in the comment section below, and as always, stop by SpeedCubeReview.com for more news and reviews.